Hi, I'm Laura from the Twilight Lexicon, and I'm here at Borders in Westwood, California with the New Moon Live Webcast. So I'd like to welcome everybody out here in our audience. Thank you all so much for coming down here today, and also we want to welcome everybody who's watching at home on the Borders website. Fantastic. What I'd like to do right now is to introduce to you our hosts from the day from very two cool podcasts, from the Twilight Series Theories podcast and from the Imprint podcast. So going down here and introducing our hosts, we have Matt from Imprint.
Hi.
We have Callie from Twilight Series Theories. We have Andrew from Imprint.
Oh my, hello.
Whoa, a little fan club out there. And we have Cassie from Twilight Series Theories. So we'll take it to you guys.
Thank you, Laura. Is everybody excited for the release of the new moon? Who is going to the premiere tomorrow? We have a few people in the audience. Who's going, who was in line already? Anyone? Oh, a lot of people, and you somehow butt out and you're gonna butt back in, so. All right, well, good. We have a lot of stuff going on today, and thanks to everyone who's tuning in over at live.bordersmedia.com. So we're going to be asking for your questions throughout the show.
Yeah, exactly. And to get us started, we're going to go over to Lauren at Borders Inc.
This is Lauren from the official Twilight Facebook page, and we're just here to welcome you to the Borders Inc. section. We have some really great stuff planned for you guys. We're going to be doing some trivia, also introducing you to some awesome new moon merchandise. So definitely stay tuned to the Borders Inc. section, and we'll take it back to Laura.
So I'd like to introduce some of the people from the other websites that are helping us here today. On the edge there, we have Kimmy from hisgoldeneyes.com. We have Kara from twilightmoms.com. And we've already met Matt, and we've already met Cassie, but then we're going to come over here to Kara from Twilighters Anonymous. And Lauren, who has jogged her way across the room from Twilight Facebook. So, Andrew, I thought we'd talk a little bit about some of the news stories that have been going on this past year.
We're going to be discussing the top 10 things that have happened over the past year in the Twilight fandom, because it has been kind of crazy. So, go ahead. You
kick it off. I know one of the things that's always funny is when you get those sort of photoshopped pictures that come out online, and some of them, and some of them are just posters, and some of them are just like, gee, I didn't know those two people were together on that occasion. So you guys up there in the panel, what's some of your favorite moments that you've seen with the photoshopping that's come online? Anybody have a favorite moment up there?
I do. I like it when the fans from Twilight Series Theories send pictures of me with Taylor Lautner or Jacob. That would be my favorite.
I guess mine was when Robert Pattinson's face was stuck on
Hayden
Christensen's abs for some reason. I guess out of all the actors in Hollywood, they had to choose Hayden Christensen for abs.
Definitely Rob and Kristen. There was one where they used Michael's, her boyfriend at the time.
That was great. I think Rob Pattinson has had his head chopped off more times than Henry VIII's wives.
Yeah.
There's Rob's head again on somebody else's body. So.
Always fun.
Anybody else have up there a favorite one? I've got one. It's not quite a head, but.
Possibly a body?
Yes, that's where I was going.
That's still my favorite one, the one of Kristen being pregnant.
Yeah, I thought that was
much more about.
I thought that was great. Anybody see that one where the magazine where Kristen Stewart was supposedly pregnant with the baby bulge, with the belly button that was on her left hip because of how they photoshopped it? That was pretty good. I was like, I don't know about you all, but my belly button's kind of dead center. So, talking about some other news. How many people saw Stephenie Meyer on Oprah the other day? Now, I know that was crazy as we're doing it. Now, did you guys go back out to Oprah.com and realize there was extra footage of Stephenie, which was really awesome when we were out there? What did you guys think of Oprah?
Finally.
I thought the Oprah interview itself wasn't that good. It was kind of stuff that we already knew, but the Oprah.com interviews were great. She talked about Midnight Sun, she talked about the host, she talked about everything, and she talked about how her mom is pushing her to write Midnight Sun, so I'm team Stephanie's mom.
I liked it. For a person, I'm saying a lot of people may not know much about Twilight if they just saw the movie. They're coming into it. So I'm like, some people just maybe needed a starter kit of how things got started. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was good that I know a lot of us already know all the stuff, but there are people out there that don't know it. So I thought it was great.
So moving on to some of our other big stories of the year. How about the actors reaching out to the fans? I mean, I think that's been what's phenomenal, that the actors have just sort of embraced this crazy fan culture that we have, and where they've just popped up and just been so giving. Do you guys have any like favorite stories with actors reaching out to fans or embracing fans? Anybody got one that's like their personal favorite?
Twitter.
I thought that it was great on Twitter, and also like last night, Alex Mraz went out to the fans in line and like
Yeah.
hugged everyone in the whole line, which is like crazy. That must have taken such a long time. So it's just so great that they feel like they need to like give the fans some love because they're so dedicated.
What's your name?
Jennifer.
And what time did he come out?
Well, we got on the line at 10 o'clock Friday night, and he showed up about an hour later, and he went down the entire line and took pictures and autographs with everybody. Wow. And he was just so sweet. And yesterday we also got to meet Boo Boo Stewart. He stopped by, and this morning we saw Charlie, who plays Dimitri.
Nice.
Which is really great because he's going to be coming by later. Okay, moving on for some other hot topics in the news, which this is really funny because I think we had a little bit of a unique perspective on this. Taylor Lautner talked about how after he got done filming Twilight, he knew he had to go through this body transformation. So when it came up that he was going to kind of fight for the role of Jacob, I mean, that was interesting. How did you guys like react when you discovered that that was not, that wasn't a shoe? And I know I was like really surprised. I was shocked. I just figured, oh, it's a done deal. He's in. What did you guys think?
I was really surprised because I loved Taylor Lautner as Jacob in Twilight. So when I heard that he might not play him in New Moon, I was like shocked. And I didn't really want him to stay. So we posted and supported him for him trying to get the role for New Moon.
Yeah, Taylor Lautner really brought Jacob to life for me. I was not a big Jacob fan in any of the books, no matter how many times I read them. And then, I tried, I really did. But then after seeing Taylor do it, I was like, oh, he really is sweet. And then when we were at the set visit up in April, when we got to visit the set of New Moon, which was very exciting, Taylor came over and talked to us for about 5 minutes, and I was like, wow, you've changed. Hi. And it truly is a complete transformation from the kid that I saw last year filming Twilight to this big burly guy. Wait till you see him. It's amazing.
With the first time I saw those muscles, I was like, oh my gosh, what have you been eating?
You've grown.
So we're having some fan reaction out there with Andrew in the audience.
For me, what really sold me keeping him is that you could already see by the end of the first film that he was aware and he really understood Stephenie Meyer's vision that Jacob was not only 16 going on whatever 16 going on 24 and really growing in his passion for life and kind of Bella as a woman, but also just seeing he just seemed to be spot on with exactly how Stephenie had written the character. And so I think just his comprehension and his understanding of the character's transformation mentally was really what sold me on keeping him.
All right, maybe that brings us to a really next point. There's been a lot of really cool new merchandise that has come out this year.
This is my favorite part.
And I'm just thinking of some of that. I'm just thinking of some of that Jacob merchandise. Actually, is where my mind went. How about the merchandise, guys? What's been some of your favorite pieces that have come out? Some of those new items.
I'll have to start because, sorry. I know, I'm sorry. Because I did put on my Christmas list, I want in my stocking a new Jacob doll, but I want the shirt off.
Doesn't it already come with the shirt off?
No, there's a shirt.
Why?
I don't know.
How about the rest of you guys? Any favorite merchandise out there?
We had fun playing the Twilight Scene It game. We got to try that out, and we actually made a video with Caleb, the Twilight guy. And so we had a lot of fun filming that, and I had fun creaming him at that game. So
I'm partial to the Edward body shimmer. So.
the lip gloss.
So you can sparkle in the sun anytime you like.
It's cool.
Stand up. What do you have here? Some Venom?
I have a Twilight Venom lip stain, which actually makes it kind of tingly. Because I guess there's actual real venom in it, and it makes me feel kind of closer to Edward.
Okay, I attempted it too, and it really hurts.
You really feel it.
Yeah, you feel it. No, you feel it, and then it stays on. Like I was trying it on, then I had work in a couple hours. So I was just trying to vicariously try to find ways to get it off, and it just won't come off. It was like Kool-Aid.
This new merchandise, but aside from new merchandise, there's new actors this time in the New Moon cast. How about I mean, we got the whole wolf pack. We got the Volturi going on. Who's your favorite of the new actors? Which one in the New Moon cast? If you had to pick your favorite actor out of New Moon, who's your
Charlie.
favorite?
Alex Morris.
Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen.
Dakota Fanning.
I'm gonna say Jamie Campbell Bower.
Jimmy
Very
Kimmel.
excited about it.
I say Charlie, hands down.
Charlie Bewley. Oh my gosh, which he's coming out here in a little bit, by the way.
Yeah.
And he's fun, trust me. He's not bad to look at either.
We have time for one more something really, really quick until we bring Charlie out here. I'm going to flip down to one of the other ones, one of the real hot topics.
The soundtrack.
You want to go for the soundtrack?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Cassie, I'm going to go to you.
Okay,
You can take it away.
because I'm really excited about the soundtrack. First, I have to say, Twilight soundtrack was amazing. And I do think it's a little bit better than New Moon, but I haven't seen New Moon yet. So I think once I see New Moon and place the songs with the scenes, I think it's going to be so much better. But I have to say my favorite song on the soundtrack is the one, Rosalind?
Yes.
Yes.
Bon Iver.
Yeah.
Love Bon Iver. Oh my gosh, she's one of my new favorite artists. so-
Possibility by Lucky Lee. That's an amazing song.
Yeah, I agree with Lauren. I have to go with Possibility.
I think my favorite would probably be Satellite Heart by Anya Marina.
I think
Oh,
so
yeah,
too,
that's a good
definitely. And the video's great too.
So we're moving on to our next segment, and I think it's probably, is this like what you guys have been waiting for, maybe? Just a little bit? So we want to welcome one of the newest members of the cast of New Moon, a member of the Volturi Coven, playing Dimitri, Mr. Charlie Bewley. Okay, Matt and Callie, why don't you take it away there?
Awesome. Okay, so first of all, I was given a little tip that Charlie here has been working on something in the back. He's been working on learning some different languages since we have so many people watching us online.
Yeah, I have. Very, very quickly. So this isn't exactly polished performance coming up. But who am I looking to? Where's the podcast? Whereabouts is the camera?
I think they'll just
like
aim for
6.
you.
Those guys over there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, here we go. So we've got the USA, Puerto Rico, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Czech Republic, Greece, Jordan, Mexico, Norway, Peru, Trinidad and Tobago, the UK, and the United Arab Emirates. And I would just like to say, hello, hola, hello, hola, hello, Dobry Yasas, Alan, hola, hello.
You're doing really well. You really
Teach
are.
linguistics
Hola,
to the
hello,
Volturi.
hello, and Alan.
All right, let's give Charlie a hand for that.
So everyone should feel right at home now with us. Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
That's sweet.
So I think that most of us, we could probably tell where you're from by your accent, but where are you from? And goodness gracious, how did you get involved with all of this acting stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm from Sherwood Forest in in Middle England.
Okay.
Yeah, so I live in a tree fort, and my relatives are orcs and fawns. No,
really.
seriously, I've been living in Canada for the last 4 years. I got into acting maybe 3 years ago, which was kind of sort of, I don't know, I don't want to go too into it because it's kind of a little weird. But I was doing so many different things, and I wanted to do something that I could do for for a long, long time and really work at and become great at. And I had a fairly extensive abstract backstory to my life, and when I sat myself down and thought about it, the only real thing I could do that would satiate this kind of career ADD I had, if you like, was to act. It was the only thing, and it's the only thing since then that I've really sort of, I think it's the only thing I can do. So
Because you
that's
get
how
to
I
do
do it.
something different almost every day. Right?
Yeah, you get to step into the lives of many different people at the highest level most of the time. You see these films and they have lawyers who are, like, for example, Matthew McConaughey in A Time to Kill. He was a lawyer for about a month or 2 months, yet he dominated that courtroom as if he'd been doing it all his life and as if it was his passion, and it totally came off like that, and that's testament to him as an actor that he pulled that off so well. But you do get to step into these positions of power or positions of passion and get to throw everything you have as a person at it for 2 or 3 months at a time, and that's a perfect kind of time limit for me, because then I start to get distracted about red things and lamps and ceilings.
So does Dimitri hold your attention then?
Yeah, actually, I've taken a lot of Dimitri with me, and Dimitri's brought a lot out in me for sure. He's like an upgrade of me as a person. I think with his special powers and stuff. But yeah.
How'd you get the role?
Yeah.
I was in Vancouver, and Vancouver's a wonderful place for anyone who wants to leave their friends and family.
It really is pretty. I've been there.
I think my parents are watching, so I'd just like to say sorry, I love you all, but I had to do it. I had no choice. I warned you. I did warn you when I was 8. So yeah, Vancouver. I was snowboarding in Whistler for a long time. I wanted to be a professional snowboarder for 3 months, and so yeah, when I decided I wanted to become an actor, I first of all came down to LA for 2 months, jumped in the deep end. I was very fortunate enough to meet Heath Ledger, which was a wonderful life experience. I sat down with him for a long time, and we spoke about. He told me about acting and why what he loved about it and what he didn't love about it, and media, etc. And that was a wonderful thing to happen. But I was in the deep end in LA then, and I was totally. I didn't know how to act. Essentially, I feel like I've been an actor all my life in many respects, and in the respect that am I talking about myself too much?
No.
It's all about you.
I'm just gonna sit here and listen.
Okay. Yeah. I think that I tried to be many different people. I tried to fit in to many different lifestyles that I was sort of pressured to go into when I was young. And I never really knew myself, and the total irony of the situation now is that now I've got to become an actor, and now I have to be all these different people. I've actually found out who I am as a person, and I've no idea why that relates anything to the question you asked.
Yeah.
But that's the message. That's the message there. So write that down. But what was the question?
New Moon and how you got that.
Yeah. Sorry, I always do this. I'm sorry.
That's why there's 2 of us. We're gonna tag team.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, we're gonna tag team. Okay.
But there was
my turn.
oh yeah, and then I went back to do another ski season in Whistler, where I was actually a taxi driver. I was a taxi driver. Yes. I did donuts in the snow. It was lots of fun, and then went down to Vancouver because it was a very easy place to start. So I made up a resume, and I sort of embellished my school plays to sound like Broadway productions. I got a headshot, which was like done on my mobile phone, and went into an agent and just threw all my energy at her and told her this is what I was going to do, like it or not. Would you like me? And they grabbed me very quickly, and I still have that agent. She's coming in tomorrow to the premiere, and literally about less than a year after that moment when I walked into the agency, I was standing in front of Wick Godfrey, the producer, and Chris Weiss as the director, with my best Dimitri. I mean, I was as close to Dimitri as I could have got at that point in an audition room, and I got it right, and I brought myself into it, and I was confident, and I just I know I don't look like the guy in the book.
Like words?
Huh?
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, so
I've been talking about
was it like did you immediately get the part, or how long did you have to wait for that?
Well, the first audition went past. I didn't think I did that well in it, but anyway, I got the call back. That was after 3 days, and then about 3 or 4 days after that, I was with Wick and Chris, and then after that, it was only 4 or 5 days after that they called me and they said, "Look, Charlie, how you doing?" And my agent never asked that, so I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all right. What's going on?" She said, "Okay, so they really like what you did with Dimitri, but they want to bring you in for Marcus." And they want to see how you do with Marcus. So I came and then she said, "But you've probably got Dimitri or Marcus," which is a huge moment. And my parents were on Skype at the same time, so they were listening to it all as well, and I couldn't really talk. So a huge moment in my life. And then I went in for Marcus. I wanted to play Dimitri. That's what I can tell you about that. I wanted to play Dimitri from the word go.
That's good.
Awesome.
We just want to remind everybody listening online right now, we are interviewing Charlie Bewley, and we have a lot of questions coming in through Facebook.
Yes,
okay?
which I have
and
one.
we're going to pose them to you.
Oh, okay.
We are in Westwood, California right now. Everybody's asking, where are they? Where are they? So there's your answer. But anyway.
All right, this question is from Randy Michelle Revels. What was your favorite set experience?
without a doubt, going to Montepulciano to film the external Volterra scenes was by far the craziest experience of my life.
Why is that?
Go in detail.
It's really hard to go into how good it was because it was so good and words kind of defeat it. I actually wrote about it, and I'm trying to get it published through Summit, and then that'll be out. But okay, so you got to imagine, Montepulciano is about the size of 2 football pitches, and it sits on top of this wonderful mound in the cascading Tuscan vine, vineyard. It's Tuscany, right? And it's rustic, and it's 900 years old, and it hasn't been touched since medieval times, and there's still little shops, and there's not a commercial footprint in sight. And then you bring like this huge film set into town, and there's cranes everywhere, and there's people in red capes walking around, and and then 5,000 fans on top of that just broke their piggy banks and came to town, and they really breathed life into this film set. It really was, and everywhere you looked, there were screaming fans, and you couldn't get around. You couldn't leave your door. You couldn't step 2 steps on the cobble streets before getting to a car, otherwise you'd just be like massacred. It was ridiculous, but lots of fun. A crazy experience. Lots of fun.
Well, going off from like the fans, what was it like being seen as like one of the members of the Twilight? Like, what was it like being recognized? For the first time?
No. Actually, the day we arrived there, the big guys, Chris and the producers and some of the the camera guys, they went round town scoping out some of those shots that you've seen on the snippets. Where Bella's running through and stuff like that. And I wanted to soak up the experience so much, so I joined them. And they warned me before I went, because there was a lot of fans there already. They warned me not to. So I said, no, I'm coming along. And they gave me a security badge as my disguise. So, so I was walking along as Chris Weiss's security. And everyone was swarming on Chris Weiss. And I wasn't doing my job very well, clearly, as a security guard. So poor guy. I've got this wonderful photo of him being engulfed by 20 Italian 12-year-olds and smiling over at me like this. and no, but then I went unnoticed, totally unnoticed. I walked the streets for 2 hours, totally unnoticed. It was great. And then there's this big gates where the production set was, where the production camped. It was way set back from the main streets. And that was safety. That was safe. Those gates were safety. There was a bunch of guards on the gates. And we were just making our way up towards the gates, and there's lots of fans still following Chris, who was still being engulfed. And I was literally 2 steps from the gate, like 2 steps away. There was the gates. And I felt this little tap on my shoulder, and it was that tap that like bad news tap. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And I looked down at this little girl going,
"Oh no.
Are you an actor?" I hadn't got the heart to lie to her, It'd be a bad way to set her off in life. So I was like, yeah. Who do you play? And suddenly I started to feel eyes on me, and I'm like, oh God, Dimitri. And I turn around and boom, there's like literally as many people as you times 2 with cameras just flashing at me, and I'm like, and it's my Notting Hill moment where he opens the door and he's got his underpants on, and it's like, if I was epileptic, I'd have died on the spot. I mean, it was bad. They should have warned me, really, because I could have been epileptic.
Oh, so you had no security with you whatsoever?
I was security. I had to secure myself.
Run as fast as you can. Yeah. Okay, so I want to know. Oh, I want to know.
Did that just go out to a million and a half people?
They had the cameras on them over there. Don't worry about it. I want to know how you approach the role of Dimitri, because I know that it's a complex character and has lived so long. How did you approach playing him?
Well, there wasn't much backstory to Dimitri, which is a good thing and it's a bad thing. Now you've got Bella and Edward and Jacob, and because of the way Stephanie writes, those guys have to really they absolutely know their character before they walk onto set, and they have to adhere to that. Which is great because you don't have to make many choices. In that, you know, too many dangerous choices. Not that I don't like to do that, but with Dimitri, I had carte blanche. Really, no one really told me what to do, and I knew I got the role. So therefore, when you pass that audition phase, you can actually bring yourself into the character a lot more. You can really explore with who he is. Now, like I said, there wasn't much backstory. So with what I had, I kind of and I took it to set, and I kind of had my choices ready, but I still didn't feel prepared really when I went to set the first day. And I thought that was a bad thing, but it's actually, I took it as far as I could take it, because it's only when you really get the makeup on and get the hair, and then you go into a wardrobe and they put your lovely, big, thick, way too thick, Italian designer winter coat on, and then you put those, and then you look at yourself, you're like, I still don't look, I still look a little bit choir boy-esque, and then they put these red, hand-painted contact lenses in, and suddenly, like, you are the part. You are dangerous. You're instantly dangerous. Like, if you were really angelic beforehand, you'll become instantly that more dangerous, you know? Really dangerous. That's kind of like the way Dakota works. And it wasn't until I got onto set, and this set is wonderful. I mean, it's huge. It's like this. Oh, it's perfect. It's like this, right?
Yeah.
But it's like 15 times bigger. And it's all hand-painted styrofoam, and it looks like stone. You have to touch it to realize that it's not stone. And you walk in there, and you see the rest of these actors who you've only seen really on magazine covers before, and you know, they are these characters you've seen in the books. It's a wonderful experience for everything suddenly to be brought to life. You know, I was as excited as any of you guys would have been. But then when I stood there as Dimitri and I interacted with my set and my actors and the costume, the ambience of everything, and I felt the Twilight thing. I felt it. I looked around. I was like, "Holy, I'm in Twilight right now. This is huge." Then I started to develop these really kind of abstract idiosyncrasies to my character that I never saw coming, and that just stuck. I was like, okay, I am this person. I'm as much Dimitri as I'm ever going to get. So the way I'm acting right now, as long as I'm present and I'm in character, then that's Dimitri. That is who I am. And I hope you'll see. I don't know. It might be cut out of the whole film. I haven't seen it yet. Some of the ways I, just stand, for example, or look around, or they were totally on the spot choices, instinct choices.
Awesome.
We have another question from Facebook, if that's okay.
Yes, so people, send your questions. But this one is from Corey, and they want to know if you're Team Edward or Team Jacob. Oh. I do too. I want to know. Because it'll determine if I like you or not.
Well, I am one of them, but I'm going to say Team Dimitri.
Nice. I love it. I love it. That's good.
I'm going to say Team Dimitri because he's a great team. No I in team. But there is I in Team Dimitri.
You are being judged right now.
Yeah, I know. I would definitely be. I wouldn't say I'm team, but I would love to have played Jacob. Jacob is a. I'm sorry, but Jacob is he's a formidable, primal, raw, aggressive, rough and dirty. He's a bear. He stinks. He's like this is how I grew up. I grew up on a farm, and Jacob, not Taylor.
Okay.
I grew up on a farm, rolling around, probably much like those guys did in their backstory, and having a great time like that. I've played rugby all my life, and I've got dirty, and I've been aggressive, and I've had red rage, and I've done all these things, and I really admire that in the werewolves in the wolf pack. Like there's that primal, that real kind of aggression that's been brought to this film is something that's going to turn it on its head. Now I'm just going to digress for slightly. I think New Moon is going to be a lot bigger than everyone else thinks. I think it's going to be huge. I'll tell you why. Because there's about one guy and 100 women who ever goes to watch Twilight.
Right.
I mean, I only watched it because to get the flavour of it before I went in for Dimitri. But New Moon's a guy's film. It's a man's film. There's some really great characters in there who, you wouldn't normally associate with females going to watch them. You've got the wolf pack, and they are big guys, and they're aggressive, and you've got the Volturia, who are dangerous. We are dangerous. Really dangerous.
I think
Don't get
they
us
like
wrong,
that.
right? We are lethal. I might smile, but it's all a veil. It's all a veil to it's all a pretense of charm to this vicious little monkey inside.
Okay, so Charlie, Dimitri and New Moon, he and Felix are kind of like a tag team in New Moon. Yeah. So you and Daniel, how did you guys get along and stuff? Like, how was that?
Oh, we get on really well. We get on really, really well.
Okay, good. That's
really
all I need.
well. No. Me and to talk characters just for a second. I'm the good cop. Dan's the bad cop. Felix is the bad cop. That's the way we work. I lull you into a false sense of security, all charming and everything, and you're like, oh, all right, I'll come with you, but you better keep your promise. And I get them behind the doors down to the Volturi chamber, and I look at them, and they're like, you, and I'm like, Felix, Felix. That's an English joke. Cat food. Sorry, but. Yeah, that's the way we work. And at Offset, we both played rugby for the longest time. We were born like a week apart. We're just very on the same page with everything, and we're both very sort of physical people, and enjoy that part of life still, very much so. And yeah, me and Dan are like, yeah, he's a great friend of mine.
A lot of people on Facebook were actually also asking, what was it like working with Rob and Kristen?
Just like working with any other two actors who are as professional as you'd expect them to be on the Twilight set. Mm-hmm. Really.
Cool.
There was no real added pressure, I wouldn't say. It was wonderful to meet them, because I'd only ever met them on the front of, in the shopping aisle and stuff. But they're two very talented people, and I went to Italy with them, and we got to really meet each other properly, and they're two great people. I can't really go any further than that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and some of the snippets and photos we've seen of you from the film so far, like you're holding Alice by the neck and you're like beating people up. How was the the stage combat aspect of filming? Like, did you enjoy that? You talked about being really physical, but it's just one of those things that it seems like it would be hard and to get all of that down and keep it going.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame that Dan's not here, because he's actually sat in his hotel room doing nothing right now.
Come on over.
Dan, come over. But because he is the guy to talk to about that. He did all the real stunt work, the stuff that he shouldn't have done. Dan actually went in and did, which is great, because Dan's a bit of an amateur stuntman. But it's great that he didn't have to do a stunt double, because then that would have taken away from a lot of the action shots that he had, and you wouldn't have got that sense that it was actually Felix doing all the work. For me, I stood and watched. I mean, there was a point where Alice gets up and tries something, but Dimitri's pretty quick, and he got there fairly fast on her and whipped her into shape. Mm-hmm. But to play Dimitri in that and to watch all that going on, and I know it's the character's role to actually let Felix do all that aggressive work, but it was hard, It was actually hard to not get involved. I know it sounds strange because it's all happening, on a film set, but, I want to be involved as a person and as a character. I want to do those stunts, and, I think it'd be good to do that in the future.
Great. Are we ready?
I have one.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready for this? I don't know if you are.
Depends what it is.
This is from McKenna, and she wants to know, this is not me asking, but will you marry her?
It's the second time I've been proposed to today.
Nice.
The film's not even out.
others
I mean,
too.
what's going to happen on Friday?
This is a Facebook request, too. It's great.
Wow, that's official.
Your status has changed.
You could confirm or cancel.
Ooh, can I just like it instead?
Yes.
Like?
Yeah,
I like
great.
it.
Nice. That's nice.
It's a great answer.
Laura, do we have any questions from the audience?
Yeah.
Anybody out here have any questions? Hold your hand up. Okay, I'm gonna saw you first. Come on, stand up and come on over here to me, and we'll snag what your question happens to be. So, what's your name and where are you from?
Hi, I'm Kimi from Glendale, California. I heard on an interview that like Hammond Bright and Dakota Fanning said that the red contacts really kind of cut off your peripheral vision. Did you have any problems with that and like in the scene and everything?
You get used to them pretty quick, but the first day I had them on, I was thrown straight onto set with them on, and it is really weird going onto set for the first time. Like I said, with people like Rob and Kristen and Dakota and Ashley, and to have this strange kind of stained glass effect going over the front of your eyes, especially when you're in the space of about 2 tables worth of these, and you're all standing there, and it's incredibly cramped in those elevators, and yeah, it was a very bizarre experience. It was almost a dream sequence when I was in that first scene, and I wouldn't say I was overawed by the occasion, but it was certainly, those guys have been filming forever on this whole thing, and suddenly you come into it, and it's like, go act, and I didn't know what to do in that elevator. I was like, well, this wasn't in the script. They didn't tell you what to do, so I just made the choice just to stare at Bella like that. Stare. Everything's gonna be okay if you stare at Bella. Keep staring. And Dan was thinking the same, and he was like, stare at Edward. Stare at Edward. Keep staring at Edward. Everything's gonna be okay if staring at Edward. So I'm pretty sure it's in there. There's this great candid moment where everyone's kind of like in that awkward lift silence. We're going down. Everyone's looking at the lift numbers as if it makes any difference. And I'm staring at Bella, and Dan's staring at... It's crazy. All it needs is some cheesy 60s music, and everything's great. But the contacts made the whole thing, and I love Stephanie's interpretation of minus fangs plus contacts. I think that's a wicked thing, and I think it's definitely brought something to... I think I wouldn't say it's a lot of the reason, but it's definitely an added bonus to Twilight. The fact that there is that focus on the eyes, which are the first point of contact with anyone, really, and less on the fangs, which are a little bit scary, So less scary and more kind of like cool and nice and everything. So I really do enjoy Stephanie's interpretation of that, and as vampires in general.
Okay, great. We have another question out for the audience. What's your name and where are you from?
Karina from Somar, California. And my question is, throughout New Moon, you interact mostly with the Collins, Bella, and the Volturi. If you had a chance to interact with the other characters throughout the series, who would you want to interact with more?
Heidi.
Oh.
Joke. No.
She belongs in the Volturi, though. She's like in it.
I know, that was a saucy joke.
That's okay, we got it.
I love the Wolfpack. I think they're great, and I think I got a really bad preconception of who they were through various adventurous media reports. But when I met them, they're just like they're brilliant because they're a pack on and off camera, and they really do have that camaraderie about them, that brothership. They just go around in their dressing gowns all naked and really just enjoying what they're doing. And for some of them, it's the first time they're doing things, and a lot of them are really experienced actors, but they're just bonded like glue, and they really do bring that to the screen. I think I was talking to Bronson. I went to Paris with him, and he said it's just great how we all just got on set and off set, and yeah, definitely be the Wolfpack. They're a cool bunch.
I think we have time for another question from our audience. Could you stand up? What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Francis from Sacramento, and I was wondering if you've seen the final cut, or tomorrow's your first time.
Yeah, tomorrow will be my first time actually, so I'm a little bit nervous. It's gonna be strange. I've never seen myself on screen.
Really?
Yeah.
That'll be
my
fun,
head's
though.
gonna look huge. How big it is already.
Okay, Charlie, our time is about up, but there's one more request. This is coming from the Borders Tech people. A lot of people are in the audience are asking for you to get close to a camera and blow them a kiss. Or maybe we can just have one of the cameras zoom in.
Zoom in on you.
I
And
was
just
gonna say, do my
blow
flawless dolphin
a
impression.
kiss. Can you maybe do one of these cameras?
Sure.
Oh wait, this
Yeah,
one.
of course.
This one.
Right
this
over
one.
there.
So I'm blowing a kiss to
You're just blowing.
millions
To the
of
right.
people.
To the right over there.
Get really close to it, as in go
No,
right up
he's
to
gonna
it.
get close to
Oh,
you. He'll
he's-
zoom in.
He's
Yeah.
zoomed in.
Okay, so
Oh my goodness.
this is big.
Oh,
They're
this is-
really
this is not
excited.
awkward at all.
They're really
We need some
excited.
kind of inspiration here.
All right, are we ready? Are we ready?
Heidi.
All right, on 3. 1. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3.
It's time to go. I'm ready to go hang out with Charlie. How about you?
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, first of all, some thank yous. First of all, thanks to everyone on the panel, everyone behind the scenes, everybody at Borders, everyone who turned out today. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Who else?
Oh man, there
Summit,
are so many. Yeah,
Charlie.
Summit. Yes, thanks Charlie so much for coming out, and thanks Summit for making this possible, because the fan sites, we love being a part of this. Yeah. So,
Yep. Somebody
thanks,
in the
Borders,
thing
and-
asked if we can do it again for the Eclipse premiere.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Everybody have a great day, and we will see you hopefully
Tonight on the line.
in the line. Okay,
Oh, in the
come
fan
stand
line.
in line with us.
Yeah.
We'll say hi.
See you guys.
Bye.